First gold coin, gateway to success. I saw a decades-old photograph of the United Arab Emirates. It reflected a very basic style of living. There was not even a trace of fancy architecture and the lavish lifestyle which we are used to seeing and experiencing here now. Have you ever thought how all such rapid development happened? People say that the discovery of oil and gas in this country has changed everything. Very interesting. Let's crack the code of this mystery and learn something amazing to bring similar mega success into our own lives. You will agree that oil and gas reserves were underneath the surface in the United Arab Emirates for millions of years, but their presence was not known. So it did not have any impact on the lifestyle of the people living here. Even when the oil and gas reserves were discovered underneath the surface, only that knowledge was not sufficient for the local population to bring that required level of change in their lives. The real change happened when the oil was drilled out using the modern technology, refined and then sold in the right markets. With the completion of this complete cycle from discovery to exploration, refinement and selling, only then the money started coming in and all the amazing development started to happen. The result was the beginning of the transformation and improvement in the standard of living of the United Arab Emirates inhabitants. Let's take this interesting metaphor and relate it into our own lives and learn something of value from it. You will agree with the fact that all of us are blessed with some unique potential which is hidden in our inner self, like the precious oil in the belly of the earth. Would you believe if I told you, in reality, your potential is more precious than the hidden wealth of oil? As many amongst us are currently not aware of the existence of this unique potential, so it does not have a capacity to bring any change in their lives. Even if we have discovered that we possess an amazing potential to be a good artist, or mechanic, or an engineer, for example, this knowledge only does not have the power to change anything in our lives. The real magic of change starts happening when we identify our true potential and then drill down to that reserve, our ability, to refine or improve it and bring it to the outside market, the business market, to sell. Only then our lives start to change. So your foremost job is to search within yourself to discover the special gifts or abilities you have been blessed with by the Creator, hidden inside you like the precious oil ready to be tapped. Only this acknowledgement of reality will open the gateway to success. I remember when I was a child, I habitually watched movies. Not because I liked watching them, rather because my motive for watching them was to narrate the movie storyline the next day to all of my school friends. I would narrate the stories to all of my friends who would actually gather and wait for me to show up to tell them another story. This was my blessed potential, which was unknown to me at that time, and I am lucky enough to have discovered it over the course of time. And I am sure one can now easily guess my profession. I now conduct public motivational speeches via various international platforms. I have also had a keen love for books since my childhood. Growing up in my city, there was no access to public libraries, especially for children, so I used to go to a large bookstore to read books. As you know, a bookstore is not a place to read, rather it's to purchase books. So many times I was dragged out of that shop by the shop employees because, in their opinion, my reading was damaging the book pages' quality. But this was not sufficient to stop my passion for books. One day a strange thing happened. I was on one of my book-reading routines in a hidden corner when a shop employee caught me reading some new books, and he started yelling at me. At the same time, the bookstore manager was passing by. He stopped and asked his employee what was the matter. His employee complained about my frequent visits to the shop without any purchase of books, and that I was just there in the store for reading purposes. The manager looked at me and told me, "Son, bookstores are for purchasing books and not for reading only." I replied, "But sir, I do not have money to buy, and I am very eager to read, so please allow me to do so." He looked deeply into my teary eyes where the truth and passion was flowing. He instantly turned towards his employee and said, "From today, put a chair for this boy in my office, and he will study any book which he wants." I discovered on that day that when you want something from the core of your heart, then impossible becomes possible. This was another hidden potential of mine which had been so deep-rooted in me that not only have I later built a library in my home, but I am writing this book to share with all, that if you start doing what you love the most, then you will have no need to do hard work ever in your life, as this work becomes your labor of love. In some cases, you might think it is too late to pursue your dreams. If you listen to others, you can be easily influenced by people who say you are too old to start your own business, or to be a writer, or to come up with the next great invention. It is because people don't know you. They probably don't know anything about you. If you wait to get permission from others to pursue your dreams, then surely you will miss golden opportunities in your life. You are capable of doing each and everything which any other human being has done so far in this world. It is not the circumstances, rather it is our choices that put us under constraints. A little fear is natural, but it should not stop us. The ordinary and the great among us are not bound by the barrier of age. Only with the right determination, attitude, and being bound by the universal moral principles, anything worthwhile is within reach. If you feel anxious about going to work every day, chances are something is wrong. Listen to your gut. If it's giving you clues that you're in the wrong job or pursuing the wrong career path, then do something about it. You never know what incredible opportunity could be waiting for you just around the next corner. Open your heart and mind to new experiences and opportunities. When you let your interests, instincts, and passions lead the way, you never know what you might be able to discover about yourself, or what interesting new twists and turns your life may take. Just because you have a specific degree doesn't mean you're sentenced to a lifetime practicing the same profession. It's normal to deviate from a plan you may have made when you were younger, or even one you made just yesterday. It doesn't matter what your degree says. What matters is how you apply your education and seize the opportunities that life throws your way. Your life and career are going to be filled with mistakes and failures. Don't get hung up on them. After all, it's the collection of your experiences, especially the hard knocks, that make you uniquely you. Have faith in yourself, learn from your mistakes, and stay focused on your strengths and passions. Most of all, keep moving forward. You can always course correct from a wrong turn. Just don't let yourself stall out. Allow me to share some real stories of people who kept moving forward. There was a person named Ray Kroc who became fascinated with a multi-mixer milkshake machine and purchased the marketing rights to it. For the next 17 years, Kroc travelled the country selling his milkshake-making miracle to whoever would listen. As he made the rounds to customers, he became intrigued by a hamburger restaurant in San Bernardino, California, owned by the McDonald brothers. While the McDonald brothers were satisfied with their small franchise, Kroc believed the burger business had far greater potential. Although Kroc was by then a 53-year-old man suffering from diabetes and arthritis and missing both his thyroid and gallbladder, he had a vision of turning the restaurant into a global fast food empire. In 1961, he purchased the McDonald's franchise. In only a few years' time, Kroc had sold 1 billion hamburgers and opened the franchise's 500th store. McDonald's had begun its campaign to take over the world. Another story is about my favorite famous actor turned governor of California. Arnold Schwarzenegger made the improbable leap from bodybuilder and actor to politician. Arnold was born in a small village in Austria. Life in the unhappy household left Arnold determined to leave home and find fame and fortune. Deciding at an early age to make bodybuilding a career, Schwarzenegger started pumping iron at age 14. He also studied psychology to better sharpen his mind's strength and willpower. Nothing could keep Schwarzenegger from his love of bodybuilding. As a youth, he busted into the gym when it was closed on weekends. Years of sweat and toil paid off when Arnold, at age 20, became the youngest ever winner of the Mr. Universe competition, a title he would win 4 more times. He continued training while simultaneously attending business school and working at a gym. At age 21, he moved to America to become a star of the silver screen. He continued to compete in bodybuilding and won the Mr. Olympia title 7 times. What is common in all such stories is the mental standard which these individuals have established for themselves. Once on the course, they never compromised on their set standard. I can explain this phenomenon through one example. One fine morning, while driving my car, I moved along at a speed as I had set for the cruise control at 120 kilometers an hour. Whenever there was an upward slope, the car would slow down a bit, however. On level ground, it would switch back to the set speed. Why? Because the cruise control was set on that speed. So, whether I wanted to drive fast or slow, then the only thing I had to do was to change the cruise control limit. In our life we carry standards which we have set in our minds related to our health, income, relationships, and so on. These actually do not allow us to go beyond that set standard level. For example, you can go beyond the current income level which you have set in your mind, or your current weight, or your current bank balance, etc. Now think about yourself going through this journey of life. What is the mental cruise value you have set for yourself? Only change in this aspect will ensure that you have opened your gateway to success. Interestingly, I tested this concept on my elder son, Osama, as I was a bit concerned regarding his recent exam results. I was discussing my concerns with his class supervisor, who told me that Osama is very capable. However, the challenge is that he is comfortable being at a certain level with his grades and does not want to make the extra efforts to get ahead. So I needed to help change the standards and perception set in his mind regarding his exam grades if he wanted to see some sustainable positive change in his next exam results. From that day, I talked and assured him that he is capable of getting much higher results, as his standards were much higher than what he currently held for himself. After continuous counselling and reassurance, he started getting the positive results and school grades I desired for him. You might be wondering from where we normally attain our mental standards. They mainly come from our surroundings and environment, from our parents, teachers, relatives and friends and so on. Many people have a set income level value in their minds where they feel comfortable, and beyond that value they feel uncomfortable. For example, if someone has a standard of $1 million to be available in their account at all times, and if for some reason that amount transforms into $2 million, then the excess amount of $1 million would give that person a structural distortion in his mind. That person will then do his level best to restore the balance by spending that excess amount. Similarly, if it goes below that level and the person only has $50,000 in his savings, then the specific person will put every effort to restore the balance to make it $1 million again. So what is at work here? Nothing except one's own established mental standard. There are certain limitations in our body regarding height, for example. We cannot grow further beyond certain size. However, in our mental faculty, there are absolutely no limits, and we can grow as much as we want. So we just need to change our internal mental standard to open the gateway to success. Another important aspect is the images which you carry in your mind, because mind only thinks in images. For example, if you close your eyes and I narrate the words like aeroplane, elephant, car, and Burj Khalifa, etc., what instantly comes to your mind? Is it the words which I have narrated, or is it the images of them that have appeared in your imagination? This is a very interesting phenomenon, that our mind is an image processor and not a word processor, and we definitely think in images. That's why all of our past memories, right from childhood till today, are stored in our subconscious mind in the form of millions of images. Similarly, there are images related to our weight, our relationships, our financial life, and our professional life, and so on. In real life, we actually live closer to those images which have been cemented in our imagination. And the truth is that we cannot bring any long-lasting change outside unless and until we first change our own established image inside. Let me explain this interesting phenomenon. Many times, people who reduce their weight by virtue of some crash diet instantly gain it back because their mental image has been set on certain values regarding their weight, and if it is higher than the weight they have just attained, they feel disturbed subconsciously and try to restore the balance back to their ideal weight without much realization. Similarly, people who suddenly attain great financial fortune through some lottery or other quick winnings also spend that amount in a shorter span of time. Why? Because they have a structural distortion between their self-image relative to their financial worth inside and their external reality outside. Their external reality forces them to restore the balance, so they try to get rid of that excess amount as soon as possible. This is the reason why, if all the world's wealth was accumulated in one place and then distributed equally among everyone, currently rich and poor, after some time you would see that everyone would attain the same financial situation which they were in previously. All rich people would once again become rich, and all poor people would become poor again, because it is not about the money, rather it is about the philosophy and standards they have subconsciously set in their minds related to it. Now, let's look at the magic in the concept of thinking big. It actually forces you to create a better and bigger self-image. You can practice creating this self-image simply by selecting pictures from magazines of images regarding your ideal goals, and then cut and paste them on a board. By regularly viewing this board and writing your goals on a daily basis, your mind will absorb those images internally as your reality, and you will start making all the efforts which are essential to make them a reality in your outside world. Habits also play a very vital role. I read somewhere that one digs his or her grave by their teeth. It was virtually true when I recently saw a newspaper picture of a 26-year-old young man in Saudi Arabia who weighed around 380 kilograms and looked like a mountain of meat on the bed. It was sad to find out that a few days after the picture was published, he died due to medical complications. We must realize that this kind of weight gain does not happen overnight. It is a slow, gradual process of overeating, which is repeated thousands and thousands of times, and with every incremental increase of a few centimeters in the waistline, it finally results in that end. It is so sad when I observe people passing on the same bad habits of overeating junk foods to their kids. It is true that first we build our habits, and then our habits build us. A fit body is needed in order to pursue all of your professional goals and ambitions. So start from today. There are ways, if you focus, you can revitalize your energy and get yourself back in shape on an incremental basis. Think about what you want to achieve and give yourself a solid reason why. Set a positive-minded, health and fitness-oriented goal. Be very specific and realistic. Remove all destructive thinking from your mind factory and put your intense energy toward proactive steps that will take you to your goal. Stop thinking of yourself as fat and start focusing on how fit you can become. Sustainable and healthy weight loss isn't a quick fix. It's a life shift. Take baby steps towards your goal. Weight loss will happen and healthy habits will start to feel automatic. A few years back, I got excessively overweight because of my bad dietary habits and lack of exercise regime. It was not because of my genes or family history. Actually, it was only me who was responsible for this weight gain by making poor eating choices. I tried many times to reduce my excessive 35 pounds, but after a few pounds lost, I would gain it back again and again. When I learned the concept of change in self-image, I immediately realized that I was still living with my old mental image related to my excessive weight. This was the reason that I would continue to buy larger-sized clothing year after year. I immediately decided that I had to change this habit. So first I cut out the image of a model with six-pack abs from a magazine and affixed my face onto that picture, and I placed this new image of mine on my bathroom mirror, where I could literally see it several times a day. Initially, it seemed very funny, and my children even started making fun of me because I did not look like this picture. After some time, I realized that my mind was under distress as I started to feel a deep desire to obtain the shape I had posted on the mirror. The change process was initiated. I assessed my strategy, identifying the things I was actively trying to do to reduce my weight, and I got a reality check. I was not trying anything new. I was stuck in the same old methods which had repeatedly failed over time and had not given me the desired outcome. This is, unfortunately, the case with many, as they keep on doing the same things and using the strategies yielding the same results as before. In order to change the results, we must change our respective strategies. Remember, this body that we are given is the place where we have to live for all of our life. So the first goal which we should pursue should be related to our health and fitness. You are the instrument which has to achieve all of your dreams. Your beliefs are vital to ensure your gateway to success. It was on the 6th of May, 1954, when Roger Bannister broke the record for running a mile in less than 4 minutes. Before that, it was generally in the public belief that it was not humanly possible to break this barrier. Within 1 year, 37 runners broke that belief barrier, and the year after that, 300 other runners did the same thing. How does this strange phenomenon happen? Similarly, somewhere in the US, an experiment was conducted on this same concept. A college principal called a bunch of his teachers and told them that they were the best teachers at the college and that they would be given a class of all high-ranking students for a period of 6 months to find out what the results would be. After 6 months, he called them back and showed them the outstanding results. He asked them how they felt about these results. All of them said, "These are obvious results, as you have given outstanding students to the exceptional teachers." The principal laughed and said that actually all of them were average teachers and had also been given average students, the differentiation being that they had been given a high self-belief. It worked. All of the teachers and students dealt with each other with the same belief, and a resultant mega success happened. The interesting fact is that your positive self-belief triggers your potential to perform, and you get into a mode that carries you towards taking bigger actions, which ultimately generate bigger results. These exceptional results further enhance your self-belief, and then the circle of belief repeats, And on each repeated cycle, you attain better levels of success. If you are in this positive cycle of belief, you can perform miracles in your life and career. On the flip side, if someone has limiting self-belief, then it diminishes the potential and capacity to take bigger actions, and it further results in minimal actions and pitiful results, which in turn decrease one's belief factor. This is a destructive cycle and core reason behind all failures. Have you noticed that your chosen beliefs have the magnificent power to create and to destroy you? In order to change a particular belief pattern, you must experience it differently and move towards the things in which you carry limiting beliefs or fears. I once saw an image of Usain Bolt crossing the finish line in the 100-meter final at the 2013 International Athletic Federation World Championships in Moscow, along with other runners. The statistics reflected that Bolt crossed the finish line in 9.77 seconds, whereas Justin Gatlin finished second with a time of 9.85 seconds, and Nestor Carter finished third with 9.95 seconds. The Bolt was tagged as Sprint King. The idea flashed into my mind that the rewards which Bolt received are almost 10 times more than the sprinters who came in second and third place. My thought-provoking question to you is Bolt 10 times faster than the person who came in second? The answer is no. Did Bolt practice 10 times better than the person who came in second? The answer is no. Does Bolt have 10 times better physique and strength than the person who came in second? The answer is still no. The reality is that Bolt was just fractionally better than the rest of his competition, and practically just 0.01 seconds better, yet he was declared the Sprint King. Have you understood the interesting phenomenon here? I'm sure you have, as you can infer that in any capacity, either as a sportsman, a professional, or as an organization, you do not need to be 10 times better than the rest of your competition, rather just fractionally better. Does it sound interesting? We can imagine while Bolt was running what might be on his mind. He was probably not competing against others in the race. Rather, he was focused on winning while making his own running record better. What the other sprinters most likely were thinking at that time was to beat Bolt, or not to lose the race, or to come in second, and so on. I hope you have noticed the golden principle here, that having a winning mindset does not essentially require you to beat someone in your own surrounding. Rather, set your own highest winning standard and then keep on improving it. You just need to become the better version of yourself and to grow up to the extent you possibly can. To bring more clarity here, I would like to share another fascinating example. Look at the tree, how much it grows in size, and its branches grow upwards, and its roots dig deep into the soil. You will agree that it grows up to the possibility it can. As human beings, we should strive to grow up to the extent we possibly can. The majority of people easily compromise and sometimes prefer to be cemented in their comfort zones. So start this brand new day with the firm belief that you possess all the necessary ingredients to open a gateway of success for yourself. Summary. 1. Your hidden potentials are more precious than any oil and gas reserve underneath the surface. Only you have the capacity to dig deep inside for your precious hidden abilities. So why wait? Drill it out, refine it, and then take it to the right business market for your success. 2. Your formal education does not determine your professional direction. Rather, it is your passion which should drive your career motives. 3. Successful people just have better mental standards than unsuccessful people. 4. Your mind is an image processor, and it currently carries images related to your health, income, and relationship standards. If you want to change anything outwardly, first change that image you hold inside. 5. Your belief about yourself is the key, and it determines your capacity to perform and generate results. 6. Your job is to become the best version of yourself.